On today's episode, we are just two birds of a feather loving on Robin Williams together. Wondering what his best movie is overall? Well, you're in luck, because this is the Doomsday Download. Look out, because the world's about to blow. We've got the Doomsday Download. Save the best in music, games, and shows. We've got the Doomsday Download. Welcome to another episode of the Doomsday Download. I am Talon, and sitting across from me is my man and the legend of the Phoenix. That doesn't make any sense. Robin Williams is here. Hello,
That's
sir.
right, dude.
So yeah, this is the Doomsday Download, where we talk about the most essential pop culture, stuff we got to save for the end of the world. And today's episode, we have got a banger. We're going to be talking about one of the all-time legends. I mean, right off the bat, tell me, how do you feel about Robin Williams?
I'm kind of a fan, dude.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I love Robin Williams. We grew up with him. It's hard not to. He was one of those people that when he died, it felt weird. Like, everything felt weird after because it was hard to imagine a world without Robin Williams. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad we're doing this episode. I've always been a big fan of his.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's any controversy around him, but you know, I don't give a fuck. Robin, you can do whatever you want, okay?
Yeah, that's, you know what, I'm with you. I'm not canceling him for nothing. We don't even know that he has anything against him.
I know.
We're just jumping out to protect our boy, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's great. I mean, honestly, he is the celebrity death like you're talking about that hit me the hardest and stuck with me, and I went like, this is lame. Like, it's not okay that like a shining light in the world is just gone. But he left behind a hell of a legacy, so we're gonna get into some of those movies today. But of course, as tradition is, before we can get there, we have to talk about the question of the day.
Okay.
So, you should have a question first.
Okay. Okay. Here's my question.
Okay.
And it's actually kind of a controversial question. I want to know your favorite SNL era.
Oh. Okay, so like which cast do I have the closest bond to?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the one that jumps to my mind right away is whatever era Will Ferrell was in.
Okay.
Dude, I love the way that he would just bust up in skit after skit, and everyone around him would bust up.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that necessarily that core cast are on him, because who else was with him? Was it like Chris Kattan and people like that?
Yeah, Chris Kattan, Amy Poehler, Tina Fey.
Ooh.
I think Jimmy Fallon came on near the end of Will Ferrell's run. Mm-hmm.
Was Adam Sandler there? Or was he right before?
Adam Sandler was gone.
Oh, yeah. That's tough. Basically, just to fill you in, like, I'm thinking specifically of the best of DVDs.
Yeah.
And there were two that I watched over and over again,
Yeah.
which was Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler.
Yep.
So it's tough to pick between those two. I think I'm going to stick with my guy Will Ferrell just because I think that he's one of the funniest, most absurd dudes out there. But if you pick the Adam Sandler era, I can't blame you.
Yeah, so that is the route I'm going to go. That is definitely the era that I watched the most growing up. Mm-hmm. And just anything that Chris Farley was in just fucking knocked it out of the park.
Oh, yeah.
But I was just talking about this the other day, and I think an underrated era of SNL was like later after Will Ferrell left, and it was Bill Hader, Andy Samberg.
Yeah.
So many great sketches came out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that era up. I was actually thinking of that too, because that's when, especially because of Andy Samberg, that's when they started doing the YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
So
Lonely Island really took off.
Lonely Island took off, and like they did like Sunday Morning or whatever, and like that was like one of the earliest ones. And it's just cool to think that like that was a real turning point for this show that had been on since whatever 70 something, you know.
Yeah. So what's nuts is I was talking to somebody about it the other day, and they argued that John Belushi and like Dan Aykroyd, Steve Martin era was the best, which to each their own, you know. But I mean, SNL was kind of rough when it first started.
Yeah.
I think that the Adam Sandler era is when they really got into their groove, and my God, dude, Chris Farley was just, I think...
Dude, incredible.
Yeah, and every era of SNL can be pinpointed by that one just shining star. Obviously, Will Ferrell kind of is like, for all of SNL, a shining star.
Yeah.
But same with Chris Farley. He just was the number one, just the funniest dude.
Okay, so was that also, this is interesting, was Mike Myers and Dana Carvey, were they also in the Adam Sandler era?
I don't know. I think so. Although I want to say that they were maybe before.
Okay.
Yeah, or like maybe they were at the beginning of the Adam Sandler era, and then they kind of left, and they took it from there. But yeah, I mean the Adam Sandler, Horatio wasn't there yet. He was part of because he was great too. Jimmy Fallon, he wanted to make Jimmy Fallon laugh all the time. Yeah, which Jimmy Fallon, no hate, but come on, dude, you ain't a shining star in SNL history.
I'm gonna give some hate to Jimmy Fallon. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but he's one of my least favorite hosts. Okay. And his whole thing of just like slapping the desk and laughing too hard at everything. Yeah. I'm like, dude, stop. Just be cool. Be Conan. That's all I want from you. Yeah. Just be Conan.
I know. It's just over the top. And like, I don't like the little games. He's just like one step further and he's James Corden. And I really cannot stand that fucking guy. God. So,
dude, 100%. Here is my question for you.
Okay.
It's this pretty big pivot, but it's a pivot towards the topic of the day. If you picked a Robin Williams universe to go live in for a week, any role that he's been in, you get to now go visit that universe. Which one do you think you might pick?
Oh, damn. Okay. A universe. I don't know. You take the lead on this. I'm going to try and think of mine.
Okay. I think I would go, and this is funny looking at my little list here. It didn't even make my top 5, but I think I might go with the Hook universe. Because it's like kid fulfillment. There's magic. There's the power of just looking at empty bowls and going, no, I've decided that there's delicious blue goo in that bowl, and I'm going to fling it around this room. Yeah, I mean, like a magic universe. Who wouldn't want to be in something that's a little bit magical?
Sure. Yeah, I like that. I don't know. Jumanji?
Okay. So you're going to go be chased around by...
Yeah, dude, just because I want to be almost murdered by animals. I don't fucking know. I mean, really, is there an answer other than Hook, which I wasn't even thinking of as an answer?
No, I mean, you're right. Out of the rest of them, it's pretty much like real world stuff and just basically like, whose house do you want to be in?
Yeah. Well, that's a legit house in Jumanji.
Yeah. Wait, whose house?
Fuck you. The main fucking house, the mansion.
Oh yeah, they've got a mansion, but they don't spend much time there.
Fuck you, dude. It's just okay. You know what? The universe I would choose is fucking Dead Poet Society because I just want to be in school. Fuck off.
Hey, that's beautiful. You just want an inspiring leader to be your teacher.
Yeah, dude.
That's really good. I like it. Yeah. So I guess on that note, we'll roll right into the man himself. I'm gonna rattle off my destined honorable mentions.
Yep.
That's how I meant to say that. Birdcage, Patch Adams, Hook, World According to Garp. I was sitting here, a little behind the scenes. World According to Garp was sitting on my list, but I had 6. So it had to be pushed.
Didn't quite make the cut.
Didn't quite make it.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to go Death to Smoochie.
Okay.
Dead Poet Society.
Okay.
Jack. And Aladdin.
Okay.
Aladdin was a close call for me just because he truly makes that movie.
Yeah.
And nobody, like you can say definitively, nobody else could have played Genie.
No, definitely not. Everyone would have been...
Well, you said Will Smith is your Genie, though, right?
I think you were the one who was saying that he was your favorite, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was me.
Speaking of Will Smith, watching the Will Smith performance, and you're just like, man, what a swing and a miss compared to the original.
Oh, yeah, it's brutal. I mean, to be fair, and I'm not one for cutting Will Smith a lot of slack, but it is impossible shoes to fill, especially if you're jumping into it in live action form.
True.
That being said, I think you could confidently put anybody in that position, you'd get the same performance. So
yeah,
not noteworthy at all.
And honestly, since we were just talking about him before, it could have been worse. It could have been James Corden was cast as Genie.
That's true.
And then we're living in that hellish reality.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so got some good ones there. Jumping in at number 5 for me, and I'm sure this is going to be higher for you, but Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay.
Yeah, I love this movie. I watched it a lot as a kid. I haven't watched it as much as a grown-up, but it's iconic. It's got so many like parts to it that are infinitely quotable. The hello with the pie in the face. Awesome. And yeah, just a great role. And I like him as a dad in that movie. Like, he's just like a struggling actor dad who's like, I want to do right by my kids. Ho ho. You know, he's just Robin Williams it up.
That's really good, dude. That's really good Robin Williams.
I felt the spirit go through me.
Yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire is funny because it is higher on my list, but I will talk about it more just because it's not my number one. Spoilies.
Fair.
But Mrs. Doubtfire is such an iconic movie for us growing up. And I feel like that's how Robin Williams won us all over, was with Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, he won a lot of kids.
Man. And Sally Field, she's great in that movie.
Great.
Pierce Brosnan, like you forget he's in that.
I did forget that he was in that.
The kids, they're probably like celebrities, some degree, but I don't remember who plays the kids.
Yeah, I have no idea. But I do remember, at least as a kid, thinking, they're not the worst part of this. They're not, like, detracting from the movie.
Sure.
So that's nice for them, you know?
Yeah. That is a great movie. It is higher on my list because I think it definitely stood out more for me.
Sure.
As a Robin Williams joint. But I will say my number 5, which is Jumanji.
Hey!
Which I mentioned earlier.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's just a fucking great movie.
It is.
I know you also did like the reboots.
Yes.
I think you said that Dwayne The Rock Johnson could play Robin Williams' character in any movie and knock it out of the park.
Can you imagine that massive muscle being the genie?
Yeah, I mean, you can. You said he could be anybody that he wanted to.
He's just such a character actor, Dylan. He just slides into every role is so unique.
Yeah, no, Jumanji is fantastic. Yeah. Robin Williams is great in it, especially because he's not particularly nice to the kids when his first interaction with them, which is just out of character for him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he plays that part so well, and that movie is so fun.
It is. It really is. And honestly, it's my number 4. So good. We're buddies on that one. We're pretty close. Yeah, I fucking love it. I watched it. I mean, talk about watching Miss Doubtfire. I definitely watched Jumanji even more because it was just like wild ride, and it was Robin Williams being fun and everything, and the big mustache on the villain, I can still see that seared into my mind. That man was like 90% mustache on his face, I swear.
Yeah,
but yeah, dude, it was a great time. Just don't think about the CGI too much because they were definitely reaching with every part of it. Like the rhinos look good, but I can specifically tell you the monkeys look like Sid from Toy Story for some reason.
Oh boy, okay.
Where you're like, that's not a monkey face. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it. I haven't watched it in years. It's been at least 15 years, I think, for me. I loved it growing up. Mm-hmm. Definitely saw it more than Mrs. Doubtfire, but that's because it was kind of geared more towards us, I think. And it was just such a cool concept. Yeah. And it is one of my earliest memories of like a truly happy ending, like an ending that I was happy with. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I love that movie. I'm definitely gonna have to go back and rewatch it. One thing I don't need to rewatch is the reboots of Jumanji.
That fucking first reboot is great. I will stand by it.
I know you liked it, and that's great. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was fun, and it was fun for the one-time viewing for me.
Sure.
And it's mostly just because of Jack Black.
Yeah. Oh, steals the show 1,000%.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so what's your number 4?
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, so we flip-flopped.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've already said what I need to say on that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I am just a huge, not only Robin Williams fan, but Sally Field fan. Yeah. Sally Fields. I'm not that big of a fan that I don't know, but...
You didn't know there was an S. That's an easy mistake to make.
She's great and everything. Yeah, the scene where she realizes that he is Mrs. Doubtfire and just has that flip out. She's like, the whole time? In the restaurant, that's an iconic moment.
That is.
So yeah, definitely needed to make the list.
Excellent. Okay, well, so then scoot us along. What's your number 3 then?
My number 3, The Birdcage.
Hey, I like that.
Love this movie. I love that Robin Williams is like the straight man in this movie because you just don't see that. Mm-hmm. Nathan Lane. Yeah, Nathan Lane. Fantastic in it. Yes. The story is great.
Yeah.
And I get the irony of calling Robin Williams a straight man.
Yeah, I was holding it in over here.
Yeah. But to have somebody else steal the show, and he's so good as just the kind of grounding character.
Yeah.
It's so fun to watch him in it.
It really is. And honestly, dude, I love that movie too. It's another one that's hard to leave off of my list. I love the scene where he's doing the runway. He's trying to show off how to do the runway. Fosse, Madonna. It's a great movie.
Dude, and Robin Williams is a babe in that movie. Just rocking the mustache.
Yeah.
Like, he had the look down.
He did. He made an open shirt look great. Like an open Miami style shirt where I was like, should I wear that when I grow up? And then I was like, I can't pull it off. It's Robin.
Dude, I know. He made us all just want chest hair and a mustache instantly.
1,000%.
Okay, what's your number 3?
Okay, so hang on. Oh, boom, here we go. Death to Smoochie.
Yeah.
I fucking love Death to Smoochie. Rotten Tomatoes, blow it out your butt. Because I know it's got like a 30% or something.
Yeah.
They're wrong.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where you kind of expect to see a lower review score on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's a fucking cult classic.
Dude, it's so fucking good. And I think you definitely know this about me. There were 2 movies I watched over and over again to fall asleep growing up. One of them was Shawshank Redemption, which, props to me. I was falling asleep with something, a classic.
Yeah, and a real dark movie to fall asleep to.
Oh yeah, I was in a dark headspace, but I was loving it because I'd seen the movie so many times that I could like lay on my side and picture it in my head as I was falling asleep. So it was like I was cheating and watching a movie.
Right. What was the other movie?
Death to Smoochie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see.
That's the 1-2 punch. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, Death to Smoochie is so darkly funny, and I love Edward Norton in it. I think like he plays that character so beautifully of being so earnest and like his heart open to a cold, dead world, Robin Williams, obviously, also iconic in that role. What is her name? Catherine, can't remember her name.
I don't remember her name either.
I think
my mind wanted to go to Catherine Heater. No. Keener. Catherine Keener.
So is that not
It's
her?
not her. No.
Okay. Anyways, she is good in the role. She plays that role very, very well.
Yeah.
And then, it's a good movie. I still can picture a ton of scenes. They're kind of jumbled up in my head now, but like, it hit, man. And it was one of the early R-rated movies that like I said, watched over and over again. So it'll always have a special place for me.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so that movie, obviously growing up, Robin Williams was just like this icon. And I had never even heard of that movie until you introduced me to it. And I remember watching it with you, and it kind of threw me off because it was like a darker movie that I hadn't really seen Robin Williams in.
Yeah.
But yeah, such a great movie.
Yeah. Also, one last thing about it, Jon Stewart is in it randomly.
Oh, yeah.
The craziest fucking character, and you're like, well, he's getting lines? That was in his era. He was also in like Half-Baked as like a cameo.
Yeah.
And
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy?
Big Daddy, yeah.
That's so crazy to me because he took such a pivot from that role. But anyways.
But you gotta love what he's doing now.
Gotta love it.
I do just want to throw back to one of my honorable mentions.
Okay.
Jack. So I don't know if you saw Jack, but he's like a boy who's like trapped in like a rapidly growing man's body.
Okay.
And so he has to deal with like, being in a fully adult man's body as a kid.
Yeah.
Very weird premise for a movie. It's a great movie, but I didn't realize until probably within the last few years that Jack was directed by Francis Ford Coppola.
No way.
Yeah, which is such an insane pull. And like that's later, obviously that's well after Godfather, and like he was, considered one of the greatest directors of all time.
Yeah,
and here's this movie, Jack.
That's a very weird pull. That's like if you said like Martin Scorsese directed like Flubber. Yeah, exactly. That would be the comp. Yeah, that's a weird one. Okay, so that was my number 3. Mm-hmm. Do you have your number 2 handy?
Yes. Okay, so my number 2.
So curious. What is this going to be?
It's Good Will Hunting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can't believe that you put something above my movie.
Well, here's the thing, is one, I kind of had to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Good Will Hunting, there's just no beating that performance by him. Yeah. It is his best performance.
Yeah.
And I you can't even argue against that.
Right.
He's fantastic in it. He drives the movie, and my God, dude, it's like when you truly fall in love with him as a serious actor.
1,000%. That is one of the rare times where you look at someone and you're like, I only see you as someone who's funny, so you're going to have to really wow me. And then they do it. Like you said, they're changed forever afterwards.
Yeah. That's all I have to say about that. We've talked about Good Will Hunting, and I also know that we're going to be talking about it more here.
Yes, we are. I'll start first, though, with my number 2, Awakenings. Have you seen Awakenings?
No.
Dude, incredible. You have to see this movie. So here's a little backstory. I had not seen this movie. I was stationed in Afghanistan, and the gal who was like my friend who would come with me the whole way, she was also in the military. She's in the Navy with me. I've known her for years at this point. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, one of my favorite movies, makes me cry every time, is Awakenings. I was like, I have no idea what that is. She's like, oh, it's great. It has Robin Williams and Robert De Niro, and it's about this guy who's like, it's about this real thing that happened where people started to just like lock up in their bodies, and doctors couldn't figure out why. So they're awake and conscious, but they're like frozen and cannot move for the whole fucking lives. So like Robert De Niro's character gets this disease when he's a really little kid. This is not a spoiler, by the way. This is all build up to the actual story.
Sure.
So he gets it when he's really little. Then he becomes like a 30 or 40-year-old man, and he's still been locked into his body. But Robin Williams is the doctor who like helps find the cure, and they all break out of it. And it's part of this like experience of them all getting to live their lives. And I won't tell you what happens, but it's a sad movie, so sad things end up happening.
Okay.
And it hit me so hard, and his role in it is incredible. I really recommend that everyone check out Awakenings.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of this movie.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's
good.
a trip. I'm definitely gonna have to check it out. I know that they had like collaborated on a few things, him and Robert De Niro, and I think like in their personal lives they were kind of close. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what your number one is.
Yeah.
So we'll just go with my number one.
What is
I don't know if you've seen this, Insomnia.
No, I haven't seen this.
Okay, definitely worth checking out.
Okay.
I think it's one of Christopher Nolan's lower rated movies or lower reviewed movies. But
One of his first though too, right?
yeah, it was earlier. It was after Memento, but yeah, it was earlier Christopher Nolan. So Al Pacino, he's a detective. He's going to Alaska to solve a murder. It might be a series of murders. I think it's just a murder. And Robin Williams is in it. He's the antagonist, which is not a spoiler. And fucking just holds his own, dude. He's so good in it, across from Al Pacino, who just kills it. And this is like kind of that later era Pacino, where obviously he's already known to be like one of the greatest actors of all time. And so you get him just kind of this peak Pacino, and then you have Robin Williams, who just kills it as a serious actor in this.
That's cool.
The movie itself is fantastic. It takes place during a time when Alaska is like sunny. The sun doesn't go down for like 30 days or whatever.
Oh.
So
The
that
30 Days of Days to the 30 Days of Night movie.
correct. Yep.
Yeah.
And so that plays into the story, and it's great. And it is legitimately a good like murder mystery.
Ooh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm gonna have to check it out, especially if it's your number one. I do love that both of us put, because he's such a famous comedy actor, both of us put very serious roles as the number one.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Well,
cool.
I mean, the comedy ones, they're so much fun. It's
Yeah.
what we grew up on. But goddamn, could that dude act? He's up there with like Jack Nicholson, just like one of the best serious actors.
He really is, dude. And honestly, I think part of it too is like we all felt so tied to him. So seeing him go through any drama or any pain was like heightened, you know? It's not just like, oh, there's run-of-the-mill dude going through something. Yeah, that seems hard. It's like, oh, that's my uncle, and my uncle's having the hardest time.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
And spiritually, I am his son, so it's like
You
seeing
are.
my papa.
Yeah, it really is. It's like seeing a piece of yourself on the silver screen.
That's right.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I have to check that out. Luckily, you've already checked out my number one. And here's something fun, too. This is the first double up pick, I
I
think.
know.
So, yeah, it's Good Will Hunting. There's not a doubt in my mind. I could have gotten smart with it and been like, oh, Good Will Hunting's number two. I'm going to put something else at number one and save something else. But the fact of the matter is, this movie means a ton to me.
Yeah.
And I want to say emphatically, this is my favorite Robin Williams movie. It's Good Will Hunting is just like wrecks me every time. Like I've said before, just that scene alone, even out of context, that it's not your fault, destroys me, dude. I don't know why. I don't know what happened in my past, but something about that scene just totally gets me going. And he's incredible in the whole movie. The part where he's sitting by the creekside and he's trying to explain to him like, you think you know what love is, and he's like giving this like, talk about life to Will. It's just the role of a lifetime for him. I know that's like kind of cliche, but it's true.
No, yeah, I agree. And like I said, I kind of had to not have that as my number one.
Yeah, fair.
Because one, we knew it was going to double because I knew it would be your number one.
Yeah.
And so to have both of us pick that as our number one Robin Williams film. And I think this is going to be the first like really controversial double pick for the hard drive that we both went with serious roles for Robin Williams.
You're right. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people who are like, oh, that's so fucked up. You put like Mrs. Doubtfire in 4 and 5. Like,
I know.
I know. But hey, you know what? That's the beauty of us being the curators, is we get to just do what we want and not worry about the fallout.
There's a reason we were chosen to be the curators of the hard drive at the end of the world, and that's because we know best. So I'm sorry.
That's right.
Sorry, everybody, but it was decided long ago.
It really was. You got to blame Hollywood. They all turned their keys at the same time, and they said, these boys, they are the ones who will decide.
All right, so our two picks, Insomnia and Good Will Hunting, not in that order. Fantastic picks for Robin Williams flicks.
Yes.
These are the best Robin Williams flicks of all time. Definitely check out Insomnia. I'm gonna check out Awakenings because it sounds fucking bananas. Honestly, the fact that it exists, I've never heard of it, is nuts to me.
Dude, so good. You're gonna have feelings.
Yeah.
You're gonna have feelings. It's
Yeah, I
such
like a
great
movie that gives me feelings, and lots of Robin Williams movies give you the feelings,
They
dude.
give you the feelings. I want to rewatch it right now. Oh my god. Yeah. So with that, we move on to binges on the fringes.
The binges on the fringes, my dude.
That's right.
What do you got going? What are you consuming?
So this is a pretty fun one. As you know, Blink-182, at least current times, is on tour doing their thing. They're coming back in a big way. They've had some singles come out, and some of them have been just okay. Like the whole world kind of had a meltdown over one of their songs. And I can't remember what it's called right now, which is so funny because it's literally just like, oh, One More Time. The song that's like, let's get together one more time. We were brothers, then strangers, then back into brothers again. And I like the sentiment of that song, but the songwriting didn't blow me away. I was like, this doesn't feel like old Blink to me. It kind of feels not as good.
Sure.
But this other song called Dance With Me, fucking phenomenal, dude. Like pop punk music in its heyday good.
Oh, shit.
So I fucking love it. It's super fun. The chorus is super boppy. The lyrics are actually like good and well thought out. I've watched the video, I think like 6 or 7 times already. And I've listened to the song almost every day. It's a heater. It's a banger. It's a bop. It's good.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I haven't heard any of their new stuff.
Yeah.
And you said you watched a video. This is a music video with the song?
Yeah, it's fun too. They're all dressed up like Ramones characters basically, and they're like doing
I
like
saw a screen grab of that.
yeah. You should check out the video. It's got a really cool, and it's got like a one shot feel. I don't think they actually did it one shot, but it's like there's like a swirling chaos around them, and it all feels very one shotty.
Oh, nice. Okay, y'all have to check that out. What's the song called?
Dance With Me.
Dance With Me. Okay, I am going to go with what I'm reading currently.
Okay.
So I'm currently reading No One Gets Out Alive
Ooh.
by Adam Neville. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce his last name.
Okay.
He wrote The Ritual,
Okay.
which was turned into just a fantastic horror movie.
Nice.
No One Gets Out Alive is a different premise. It's about a young woman in the UK who is just kind of down on her luck. She can't find a steady job. She can't find a great place to live. She moves into this house and everything is not as it seems.
Ooh.
There's kind of a mixture of like paranormal plus the stuff that she has to deal with like predatory men in this house and being in a very vulnerable position. It is very unnerving and kind of a hard read just because you get so angry at the things that she has to deal with, but it's very good so far. I'm about halfway through it and really enjoying it.
Nice. Okay, this is going to be kind of a weird question based off that, but I know you had also recently finished reading On the Western Front.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
All Quiet on the Western Front. So I know they're in completely different ballparks. Which one do you think you're enjoying more, just from your own perspective?
So All Quiet on the Western Front, I would say I enjoyed more.
Okay.
Because it is so beautifully written and just it really captures. I mean, obviously I don't know what World War I was like, but it really captures the horrors of war as far as what you could imagine. So for what it was trying to do, it fucking nails it, and that is such an incredible book and one that I will revisit multiple times in my life.
Nice.
This is just kind of a fun horror read.
Yeah.
I did not read The Ritual. I jumped into this one just because I'm not familiar with this property. This was also turned into a Netflix movie, which does not have the best reviews.
Bummer.
I'll probably still check it out just because, I will have read the book. But no, it is still a very fun novel so far.
Cool. Like to hear that.
Hell yeah, boy. Okay, now that we're wrapping up the show, tell people where they can find us.
They can find us on Instagram at...
Doomsday Download Pod.
That's right. And if they want to write to us, if they've got something burning on their mind, they want to talk about Robin Williams movies, they want to show us a piece of fan art from Robin Williams, whatever's on their mind, they can write us at
doomsdaydownloadpod@gmail.com.
And if they want to follow us on TikTok Flip Flop, they can do that at
Doomsday Download.
That's it right there. Yeah, and also, if you're listening and you enjoyed it, throw us a 5-star review. Takes nothing, costs you nothing. It's good vibes.
Yeah, and even if you hated the show and you just want to be really shitty, say something really shitty, just tear us apart, really critique the fuck out of the episode,
Yeah.
do so, but still rate us 5 stars.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt you none. people will read the message over see the rating. That's what you can tell yourself.
Right.
But we still get to benefit off that 5-star review.
Yeah, and if you want to write something shitty about us and write something glowing about Robin Williams, I mean, we'd appreciate that even more, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we know that Robin Williams is the icon of the century, so,
That's right.
fucking blow him up.
That's right. So yeah, I guess on that note, how does it go?
If you're on your way to work, have a great day at work.
And if you're on your way home from work, I hope you had a great day.
And night-night.
Night-night.